Facing fear, how a new waitress revealed the incredible truth about a millionaire in one moment. The busy Maplewood diner buzzed with laughter and chatter. Lisa, a single mother of 8-year-old Ben, served pancakes and coffee with an effortless smile. Her heart raced, but she wore her exhaustion like a badge of honor. As the smell of maple syrup wafted through the air, she poured herself into every interaction, every moment. A toddler cried, a couple argued quietly, and an old man with a twinkling eye chatted about the weather. Lisa thrived in this chaos, but deep down, the weight of her father's haunting memories and the struggle to make ends meet did not fade. Would dreams of a better life for her son always be out of reach? That morning, amidst the clattering dishes, a stranger entered. Dressed in a sleek suit, Michael cut a sharp figure against the diner's hominess. Lisa began her usual rounds, oblivious to the whispers that linked him to cold-blooded business deals. Her focus was on Ben's future and the countless sacrifices she made to chase a fleeting version of the American dream. "Coffee, please," he ordered, barely looking up. Lisa refilled his cup, her warmth contrasting with the chill of his demeanor. Just as she drifted into her rhythm, a tray of drinks teetered and spilled across the floor. It was a chain reaction of chaos. Groans filled the air. Lisa darted around, restoring order as shouts erupted, the clamor spinning like wild tornadoes around her. Then she overheard her own words, a sudden revelation pouring out in a conversation with another diner. "Being a single mom is tough. Sometimes I wish I could give Ben the world, but all I have is my heart in this job." For a brief moment, the ruckus disappeared. Lisa was unaware of wide eyes and dropped forks, including Michael's, who had lifted his gaze, caught in her sincerity. Touched by her honesty, he left not just a tip but a note, scrawled and heartfelt. In a town buzzing with gossip and judgment, he felt a stirring of vulnerability he hadn't known in years. "I see you," it read, a simple affirmation that echoed louder than mere words. But as he slipped out the door, the tone shifted. Townsfolk noticed the note and the potential connection between the waitress and the outcast billionaire. Jealousy and open disdain painted their expressions. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let us continue. As the days turned, the tension mounted. Lisa fought against the whispers in the diner, the way they blamed him for their troubles, and her heart raced with the gravity of the choice that loomed before her. Accepting help would mean betraying her independence, yet refusing could deny Ben the very opportunities his mother yearned to provide. They stood on a precipice, peering into worlds that were both drawn together and pulled apart by deep-seated fears. That in the shadows of Maplewood, amidst the clamor of a diner alive with life and secrets, compassion ignited a fragile spark hovering between two stark lives. Could they bridge the gap formed by misunderstanding and prejudice? A transformation was brewing, a chance for redemption. But with rumors swirling tighter, the question remained, who would take the first leap into the uncertain depths? The days slipped through Lisa's fingers like grains of sand. Each morning, she arrived at the diner prepared to serve her regulars, but the arrival of Michael had changed everything. The whispers of the townsfolk seemed to hang in the air, palpable with judgment and confusion. It was a weight Lisa was learning to carry, inching towards a choice that filled her with both hope and dread. As she poured coffee for Mr. Hargrove, always the early riser, she caught the fleeting gaze of Michael from the corner booth. He was reading a newspaper, but she could see the tension in his shoulders, as if the ink held the weight of his world. For a moment, their eyes locked, and an unspoken understanding passed between them. It was more than curiosity, it was a connection that ignited something deep within her. She blinked away the feeling, her heart pounding. Instinct warned her to maintain a safe distance, yet her soul craved that connection. What would it mean to reach out? Complications raced in like a gust of wind, and she focused instead on the syrup bottles and plates in front of her. "Everything okay, Lisa?" asked Sarah, one of her fellow waitresses. She was wiping down tables, her eyes darting to Michael's booth before landing back on Lisa. You've got that look like you're thinking too hard. You know how people talk. I know, Lisa replied softly, her heart sinking. It's just, he's not what they think. I can feel it. Be careful. This is Maplewood. The whispers may start small, but they can storm to life pretty fast. Sarah took her time, sharing a knowing glance. It was a warning, but also a show of support. Lisa nodded, biting her lip. Every instinct urged her to consider the future she envisioned for Ben, a future far from the gossip and the small-town drama. But Michael seemed to present a potential change. A moment of opportunity and doubt crept in, gnawing at her resolve. Suddenly, the bell above the door chimed again, and a fresh wave of customers spilled into the diner. Lisa snapped back to her responsibilities. She poured more coffee, took orders, and attempted to evade the watchful eyes of her neighbors, who had now shifted to their breakfast gossip. Later, as she cleared a table, a hand brushed against her arm. Lisa jumped, startled, and turned to see Michael leaning in slightly, a gentle urgency on his face. Hey, he began, his voice low and sincere. I know it must be difficult, facing everything they say. But, if you ever want to talk, I'm here. His words wrapped around her and squeezed. Did he really mean that? Could she let herself trust a man wrapped in a shroud of rumors? The faint sounds of laughter and clinking dishes faded into the background as she studied his expression, earnest, vulnerable. It was an invitation to step off the cliff of her fears and into the unknown. Yet, fights against her instincts roared inside her head. Before she could respond, Ben rushed into the diner, a whirlwind of energy. Mom! Can we go to the petting zoo this weekend? His eyes sparkled with excitement, innocence completely untouched by the weight of adult fears. Looking at her son, Lisa felt the tug of her heart. The petting zoo. It seemed so simple, a fleeting joy in a life bound by struggle. Could a visit to Michael lead down a path that would redefine their world? A moment of hesitation hung in the air, then she voiced a quiet yet firm response to his invitation. Can we talk later? As she breathed, hope flickered warmly within her chest, pulsing against the uncertainty of her circumstances. She knew the decision wasn't going to be easy, but it was necessary for the sake of her son. Michael nodded, a hint of relief flickering across his features. And as she left the booth, a sudden shout from across the diner drew her attention. Tension jolted her as she turned to see two townsfolk glaring at Michael, hands on hips, eyes like daggers, ready to unleash their disdain. The storm was brewing, and soon, they'd all be caught in it. As Lisa turned back to her work, her heart quickened. Would she stand for what she believed, or would the pressures of the town silence her feelings? The question loomed over her, lingering in the air like the scent of fresh coffee, waiting for the moment when she would either fall into fear or rise against it. What would happen when that confrontation came? She had a choice to make, and she could feel the weight of it pulling tight against her heart. Lisa's hand trembled slightly as she wiped down the counter, her eyes lingering on Michael, who sat quiet and composed, like the calm before a storm. The energy in the diner shifted, thickening with tension. Her heartbeat thundered in her ears as the voices of the townsfolk grew louder, shaking her resolve. What are you doing talking to him, Lisa? One voice rang out, cutting through the chatter. It was Mrs. Johnson, seated in her usual corner with a group of her friends. The boldness in her tone turned the atmosphere from casual to confrontational in an instant. Lisa felt her face flush. She glanced at Michael, whose expression remained neutral, but she could sense the heat radiating from the anger that surrounded him. The weight of judgment was heavy, almost suffocating. It tugged at her insides, forcing her to consider her choices again. Last thing we need in Maplewood is his kind, chimed in another voice, a man she recognized but couldn't place. He's nothing but trouble. Better stay clear. Those words hit like daggers. Lisa moved to another table, trying to concentrate on serving a plate of pancakes, yet she couldn't shake the gravity of what was happening. Each clink and clatter around her seemed to mask the deeper intonations of fear and prejudice swirling about. The smell of fresh coffee hung in the air, but she found it difficult to breathe. The protective instincts for Ben roared loud within her. Would meeting Michael truly bring on a storm? Or could it be the opposite, a calm and a tempest of expectations? Do you really know him? Sarah's voice broke through her spiral of thoughts, nudging Lisa out of her daze. I mean, what if they're right? She paused, considering. Had she really taken the time to know Michael? Submerged in her own feelings, had she ever truly listened to what he had to say? That question clawed at her heart, making her feel small under the suffocating gaze of the townsfolk. Across the diner, Michael shifted slightly, glancing towards her, his brow creased. Their eyes met briefly, and in that moment, he conveyed a vulnerability that seemed to wrap around her, inviting her closer rather than repelling her with fear. Did that mean something? Taking a deep breath, she decided she would stop evading. Maybe there was strength in this mess, a chance to rise above the whispers and the glances. With each passing moment, the diner metaphorically held its breath, waiting for the next move. Can I get you anything else, Mr. Michaels? She finally asked, her voice steady, surprising even herself. She took a step closer, ignoring the disapproving hisses from the surrounding tables. Just your company, Lisa, he replied, a gentle smile breaking through the tension. It was magnetic, a light amidst the shadows. She set down the coffee pot and leaned in slightly, emboldened. The indignant gasps from nearby tables tightened her chest, but she pressed on. I want to know the truth. The silence enveloped them, heavy and expectant. It was a gamble, a chance against the fear that surrounded her. For all the townsfolk's harsh words, something inside Lisa burned with the hope for a change, a chance to connect beyond the chatter. But just as she sensed a breakthrough, the bell above the door rang once more, and a group of newcomers flooded in. Their energy shifted the atmosphere yet again. Tension remained, but this time, her heart leaped with an impulse she couldn't ignore. Michael lowered his voice. What do you say we meet after the diner closes? The air shimmered with potential, and she nodded. Embers of hope ignited as a knowing spark passed between them. Yet, just as relief washed over her, the unmistakable silhouette of the mayor barged through the crowd, his eyes narrowing at Michael. What's going on here? He barked, casting a coalition of fear back into the room. Lisa's heart raced as she realized the fight she stepped into might be larger than just her own feelings. Perhaps a whole community's beliefs were at stake. Would she truly have the courage to stand up when the fight began? The question drummed in her mind. Echoing with urgency as all eyes turned toward her, how would she choose to respond when faced with that inevitable confrontation? Lisa's breath hitched as every gaze in the diner bore down on her like a weight she didn't know she could carry. The mayor's presence felt like an anchor in the rising tide of her emotions. She swallowed hard, nerves dancing in her stomach. What did the mayor see? Did he think Lisa was compromising something essential by even standing near Michael? Lisa! He barked again, his voice sharper than a blade. You know better than to associate with him. She felt the world close in, the chatter of the diner quieting to a haunting hush. Her heart raced, pounding like a drum in her ears, the intensity almost unbearable. But amidst the chaos, there was clarity. Deep inside, a sense of defiance ignited. She thought of Michael's quiet demeanor and how he had carried himself, unfazed by the judgment that dripped from the townsfolk's words. Why? She finally found her voice. It came out steadier than she felt, surprisingly certain. Why should I stay away from him? Have you even talked to him? Do you know anything about him? The diner's patrons shifted, some murmuring, others falling silent, their eyebrows raised in disbelief. Every moment felt suspended, like a slow-motion scene from a bad movie. The mayor's face blanched, surprise battling with indignation. You don't know what you're getting into. His voice dropped, becoming personal, almost pleading. He's not like us, Lisa. He's from the city. They have no respect for the likes of us. Or maybe I don't have respect for the likes of you. she shot back, the heat rising in her cheeks. The word surprised even her. I've known you my whole life, and I'm tired of fear taking control of how I live it. The diner erupted. Gasps mixed with whispers and wary glances darted between tables like firecrackers going off one by one. Lisa's stomach fluttered nervously, but she stood her ground. Every second felt electric, charged with emotion bouncing off the walls. Just look at him. The mayor gestured wildly towards Michael, who remained seated, unperturbed. He's got money, power. And you think he'll be there for you? For us? He's just here to make a quick profit, nothing more. Something in Lisa hardened. You don't know him at all. She fixed her gaze on Michael, searching for that spark of understanding again, that gentle smile she had seen when he said he just wanted her company. He wants to be here. He talks about helping. The mayor scowled, cutting her off in contempt. If he wanted to help, he wouldn't be here. He'd be donating somewhere far from us, far from you. Michael shifted, finally breaking his silence. I'm not what you think, sir, he said carefully, his tone calm yet firm. I grew up in a small town, too. I came here seeking something real, not just the pretense of wealth. I want to understand the community, not judge it from a distance. The collective disbelief washed over the crowd, color drained from faces as the conversation snagged on the unexpected twist. As Lisa looked back at the mayor, she could see cracks beginning to show in his unyielding visage. Maybe it's time we let go of the past, she continued, emboldened. We've let our fear tear us apart for too long. Maybe Michael isn't the enemy. Maybe he's just the person we need. The room fell into an unsettling silence, as if everyone was weighing her words in their hearts. A chance. A chance was slipping into view like the first light of dawn. She could see reluctance, uncertainty flickering in various eyes, but then, the mayor straightened. You're making a mistake, Lisa. You'll regret this. Turning sharply, he stormed towards the exit, leaving behind a palpable tension. Lisa felt her heart beat faster. The moment hung heavy, but a glimmer of hope sparked within her chest. She had taken a stand, and no amount of fear would dim that flame. Michael's eyes sparkled in her direction, and for the first time, she could see the genuine appreciation in his gaze. It felt like connection, a bridge across the turbulent waters separating them. What do you say we really meet after the diner closes? He asked softly, a glimmer of optimism in his voice. Lisa nodded, feeling lighter even amidst the storm. But then an ominous thought crossed her mind. Would their meeting only serve to ignite the following conflict? As the diner buzzed back to life, she wondered, would facing the truth finally bring change? Or would they both be swept away by the tides of their own community's fears? The tension was just beginning, leaving Lisa with a question that tugged at her heart: how far would she go to protect the truth she dared to embrace? The sun dipped low in the sky, casting golden hues through the diner's windows. As the bell above the door jingled, Lisa felt a rush of anticipation meld with an undercurrent of anxiety. With the mayor's fiery words still fresh, every step seemed like a leap into the unknown. The diner emptied, leaving only a few stragglers nursing their mugs as the hour grew later. Lisa glanced at Michael, who was comfortably leaning against a booth, his presence calming amidst the tension she felt looming. He caught her eye, offering a reassuring smile that sent warmth cascading through her. Are you ready? He asked, his voice low and inviting, a gentle nudge towards the lightness she was desperate to feel again. Yeah, although I wish we could just, skip to the good stuff, she replied, laughing nervously. But deep inside, the stakes felt higher than ever. Once the last customer shuffled out, Lisa took a deep breath. All right, just us now, she said, lifting her chin as she walked towards him. The dim light from the diner now felt like a spotlight, honing in on their unresolved questions. What do you see when you look at this place? Michael asked, leaning forward, earnest curiosity in his eyes. For years, it's been a bit of everything. Home, yes, but also a cage, Lisa replied, searching for her thoughts. So many people are stuck in the same routine, too afraid to shake it up. Michael nodded slowly, and she could see he understood. That's why I came back. I wanted to be part of something that mattered. To not just skim the surface but really dive deep. Dive deep? She raised an eyebrow, intrigued. What does that mean for you? I have resources, Lisa, he explained. But if I just throw money around, it'll be meaningless. I want to help build something. A community center. A place where kids can go after school, something that brings people together rather than divides them. Lisa felt her pulse quicken. A community center? The idea was as vibrant as it was foreign. But what if they refuse that idea? Then we work harder, he replied, the determination pouring from his tone. Instead of avoiding the fear, we face it. Together. A crash outside startled them both, breaking the intensity of the moment. Lisa jumped up, peering through the window to see a couple of kids down the street kicking a can, their voices echoing with laughter that felt miles away from the weight both of them carried. Just look at that, she said, pointing. What if we gave them something better to do? Michael's gaze followed hers, and she saw a spark ignite in his eyes. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Imagine a space for them to learn, to create. A safe haven. With each word, Lisa felt her heart expand. Maybe they weren't just dreaming, they could actually change something. But as exhilaration coursed through her, doubt crept in. You really think they'll come around? That they'll accept you? I think they'll follow you, he said firmly, looking straight into her eyes. You've already started breaking that wall down. I can help amplify that. But we need to be ready for resistance, Lisa. There will be pushback. The weight of his words hung between them, mingling with the hope radiating from their shared vision. Are you ready for that? She asked softly, testing the waters of this new reality. I am, he replied, unwavering. But I need you by my side. Together, we can face whatever fear stands in our way. The sincerity in his eyes lit a fire within her. But as courage battled with doubt, she couldn't shake the nagging question, would their partnership bring the change they dreamed of? Or would their willingness to stand together unravel everything they cared about? Lisa took a step back, considering the weight of their leap into the unknown. Okay, then let us do it, she finally said, her heart echoing with resolve. Let us face this fear and see where it leads us. As they pressed forward together, something in the air shifted. The diner might have been their starting point, but Lisa couldn't help but wonder what awaited them outside when the real battle began. Would hope survive in the harsh light of scrutiny? The air outside the diner felt electric, alive with possibilities. As Lisa and Michael stepped into the twilight, the world around them seemed to hum with energy. Streetlights flickered to life, casting long shadows across the pavement, and the distant sound of laughter still lingered. But amidst that laughter, a knot of apprehension twisted in Lisa's stomach. Where do we start? She asked, her voice barely a whisper. The street before them felt like an uncharted path, one that could lead either to triumph or devastation. Michael took a breath, grounding the moment. We start by talking to people. We have to get them invested in this idea, show them why a community center matters. Her heart raced at the thought. And if they don't care? Then we find a way to make them care. He smiled, that warm, reassuring smile that had become a beacon amid uncertainties. We can do this. They walked together down Main Street, passing familiar shops and homes, where the weight of their mission began to settle in. Lisa glanced at the clearing sky, streaked with hints of violet and deepening blue. Stars began to peek through, distant and yet close enough to feel hopeful. But reality loomed closer than the stars. Hey, don't forget we're not alone in this. We'll reach out to people who feel the same way. Michael's encouragement cut through her anxiety, easing the tightness in her chest. Right. She nodded, wanting to believe in their shared dream. But I need to ask you something. They stopped in front of a half-lit playground, the swings swaying gently, a reminder of childhood joy. What if we face people who think this is a waste of time? We might run into real resistance. Michael turned to her, eyes bright and steady. Then we listen. We understand their fears. We offer them hope instead of confrontation. Lisa's heart beat steadily, sinking with his resolve. She pieced together how this dream could truly take shape. Conversations. Groundwork. Building trust. Each thought lit a fire within her, igniting excitement alongside the fear. Okay, I can do that, she said. But what if we fail? He placed a hand gently on her shoulder. What we can control is how hard we fight for this. If we give it everything we have, it won't be a failure, no matter the outcome. You can't regret trying. As those words settled in her mind, she felt the burden of her worries lift, even if just a little. Michael was right. The fear of failure could paralyze them, but the courage to act could transform everything. Just then, they heard laughter echoing nearby, a group of teenagers tossing a ball between them, carefree and alive with energy. It drew Lisa's attention, and something inside her shifted. Look at them, she said, nodding toward the group. They need something more. Michael's gaze followed hers, lighting up. Exactly. If we can engage them, they'll feel the impact. Maybe they'll even help us rally others. The realization dawned like a sunrise breaking through the dark. Together, they could create a community that thrived. A place that could catch the youth in its arms, turning reckless joy into constructive energy. As Lisa felt the urgency pulse through her veins, something stirred within her. And we have to strike while the iron's hot. People want change. We just need to show them how it can happen. They exchanged a glance, both feeling the rush of their shared determination. Armed with newfound focus, they set off, ready to face whatever came their way, but as they approached the crowd, Lisa's heart fluttered at the back of her mind. Would their vision resonate? Would these kids see the value in their dream, or would they simply brush it off as another adult's whim? As they walked closer to the laughter, the question lingered: how would they break through the noise and capture the hearts of those who needed light the most? The vibrant laughter filled the air like music, engulfing Lisa and Michael as they moved closer. There they were, a group of teenagers, energetic and unguarded, their laughter dancing around them like autumn leaves caught in a breeze. Lisa could feel the knot in her stomach shift, suspense mingling with hope. Let's just join them, Michael said, his voice steady and encouraging. No grand speeches, just be real. Right. Lisa took a deep breath as they approached, feeling the electric charge of nervousness coursing through her. The teenagers were tossing a ball back and forth, their faces lit up with joy. She could see the carefree spirit in their eyes, a reflection of everything she wanted the community center to embody. Hey! Michael called out, his friendly tone breaking through the chatter. The group's laughter paused, and several heads turned. In that moment, Lisa felt a wave of uncertainty wash over her. What if they didn't want to listen? What if they saw them as just another couple of adults trying to sell them on some boring idea? But before she could spiral down that thought, one of the girls stepped forward. What's up? She asked, curiosity sparking in her expression. Michael stepped up, introducing himself first. I'm Michael, and this is my friend Lisa. We're working on something important for this neighborhood. Her heart skipped a beat. This was at the moment to share their passion. Yeah, Lisa chimed in, the words tumbling out. We're planning a community center. A place for everyone, games, activities, maybe even a space just to hang out. A silence fell for a heartbeat as the teenagers exchanged glances, weighing their words. Sounds okay, one of the boys remarked, tossing the ball back and forth as if it were a casual topic. But why do we need that? We already have stuff to do. Lisa's pulse quickened, but she brushed aside her nerves. True, but think about it. What do you wish you had? What do your friends talk about when they feel bored or disconnected? A girl stared at her for a moment, then shrugged. I dunno. More parks. Maybe somewhere we don't get kicked out just for hanging out. Yes. Lisa felt energized by the girl's response. That's exactly what we're talking about. A place designed for you, a safe haven to connect with your friends and your community. We want to listen to what you want. Michael leaned into the conversation. And we want your help to make it happen. You have ideas, you have a voice. If you want change, pulling together could truly shape that. The tension in the air shifted as the younger crowd began to talk amongst themselves. Lisa felt hope start to bloom in her chest. Maybe this was how they could do it. Engage the very people who needed this center most, those who would benefit the most. As the conversations unfolded, Lisa couldn't shake the feeling that they were catching something important here. They were planting seeds, and could very well see them bloom. Okay, the boy said finally, the ball coming to a halt in his hands. How do we know this won't just end up being some boring space? Her heart raced at their skepticism, but she knew they had to press on. You've got the chance to help curate it. Your ideas can shape what the community center becomes. We're just a starting point. The crew huddled closer, intrigued now. Michael and Lisa exchanged a triumphant glance. They were breaking through the barriers of indifference, but there was still doubt in the air. Would they stay engaged? Would they feel excited enough to help cultivate this vision of a place filled with life? As they leaned into more discussions, growing passion filled the space between them. But Lisa couldn't ignore the lingering concern. Would this initial spark last? Would these teenagers truly feel inspired enough to take action? The laughter resumed, but something deeper simmered under the surface, an opportunity waiting to be seized. And just as Lisa began to feel their beliefs turning into something tangible, a familiar figure stepped into view, an unexpected presence that sent her heart racing. Could it be the missing piece they never saw coming? Lisa's breath caught as she recognized the figure approaching. It was Jenna, her old friend from high school, the one who had disappeared without a trace after graduation. Lisa's mind raced. What was Jenna doing here? Jenna? Lisa called, her voice breaking through the playful chatter of the teenagers. The laughter faded again, shifting the focus away from the group to the newcomer. Jenna paused. Confusion washed over her face, and for a moment, Lisa could see the swirl of emotions in her eyes, surprise mingled with something deeper. Lisa. Wow. Jenna stepped forward, and everything else seemed to melt away. I didn't expect to see you here, me neither. Lisa's heart raced with unexpected joy and trepidation. She gestured toward the teenagers, trying to start something for the community. What about you? I just moved back, Jenna replied, a shy smile creeping onto her face. It's a long story. I'm just passing by. The kids shifted uneasily, glancing between the two women. Lisa felt the floodgates of memories open up, long nights of laughter, shared dreams, and the abrupt silence when Jenna had vanished from their lives. Her heart tightened. I'm so glad you're here, Lisa said, stepping closer. We could really use your help. Yeah, Michael added, jumping in. We're trying to create a space where everyone can come together. You know, a real community center. Jenna observed the group, her gaze lingering on the teenagers. That's really cool. But do you guys think they'll actually want to be involved? Lisa felt a flicker of doubt creeping back in. Would these kids stay inspired? She glanced at their faces, they were still watching, still engaged. Of course. They want a say in how the center looks, what it offers, Michael reassured. Why don't you show me what you have in mind? Jenna asked, her curiosity piqued. In the next few moments, the conversation shifted. Michael began sketching out an idea for the center on the ground, enthusiastically describing all the various activities they imagined. Lisa watched, her heart swelling, relieved that the energy hadn't fizzled away. The teenagers leaned in closer, their skepticism easing as Jenna offered her thoughts, the familiar spark returning to Lisa's mind. As they began brainstorming, Lisa felt a weight lift off her shoulders. There was something special brewing. The dynamic of them working together, the three of them and this group of eager minds, was electric. Minutes turned into what felt like moments. They bounced ideas off each other, laughter mingled with dreams woven in real time. Jenna suggested a gaming lounge, a cozy nook filled with bean bags and video games, and the teenagers lit up. "Yeah. I'd totally go there," one boy exclaimed, his enthusiasm infectious, but just as they were wrapped up in a wave of inspiration, a shadow fell over the gathering. One of the older boys, Derek, stepped forward with his arms crossed. "But what do you two even know about us?" His voice was a gravelly challenge. "You think you can just show up and change everything?" Lisa felt her heart drop, the hope that had been blooming threatened to wilt in an instant. Jenna remained calm and collected. "We just want to learn what matters to you. What do you really want to see happen in this place?" The surrounding teens were suddenly quiet, eyes darting between Lisa, Michael, and Derek. The energy shifted. "Maybe we should tell them about the workshops," Lisa suggested, trying to keep the positivity flowing. "Things that can help us all connect: music, art, sports, whatever you want." Derek's skepticism still lingered, but Lisa refused to let it steal the moment. "This is your chance to shape the future. You lead, we'll follow." A ripple of anticipation spread through the group, and Jenna smiled reassuringly at Lisa. But her stomach nodded with uncertainty. Would they accept the challenge? Would Derek allow his group to step outside their comfort zone? Just then, Derek looked away, hesitating, as if waging an internal battle. "Okay," he finally said, his voice softer. "Let us see what you got." The collective energy shifted, their curiosity piqued anew, but now the stakes felt higher. The moment of truth loomed larger. Would this be the start of something beautiful or unravel before it even began? As Lisa stood, heart pounding, a wave of possibilities flooded her mind. She believed in them. She believed in this. But was this connection real enough to endure? Would they embrace the vision, or would fear pull them back? Anticipation thickened the air, setting the scene for what would follow next, the challenge that could either unify or divide them. Lisa could hardly breathe as the silence stretched between them. Derek's hesitant agreement hung in the air like a delicate thread, ready to snap at any moment. She had hoped for a breakthrough, yet now the gravity of the situation pressed down on her. Would they truly step forward and seize the chance being offered? "All right, let us brainstorm some of those workshops," Michael exclaimed, attempting to break the tension. The kids hesitated, glancing back at Derek as if looking for permission. "Yeah, let us hear it," Derek said, a hint of curiosity creeping into his voice, though he kept his arms crossed. Jenna adjusted her posture, turning to the group. "How about we start with something everyone loves?" "Music," she suggested, her enthusiasm slowly thawing the cold atmosphere. "Imagine a music jam session where you could teach each other what you know. Or even bring in local musicians for workshops." The idea sparked interest in a girl near the back. "I play guitar. I could help teach." "Exactly." Jenna beamed. "See? That's what we want to hear. What else?" Lisa could feel the group's energy begin to shift. Suddenly, the teenage faces lit up, sharing their thoughts more freely now. Ideas flew around: art classes, a poetry club, even a cooking class where everyone could learn to make their favorite dishes. The bleakness of the moment slowly receded, replaced by the vibrant possibility of a shared future. As they spoke, Lisa caught a glimpse of Derek's expression. His frown slowly began to fade, replaced by a thoughtful nod. It was small, but it felt like a victory. "Okay, cooking class sounds kinda cool," he admitted, his voice a little warmer. "But how would we even get the ingredients? Some of us don't have money for that." That question brought back the weight on Lisa's shoulders. She could feel the flicker of uncertainty stirring again. Maybe we can work with local businesses. Get donations. She proposed, her voice steady though her heart pounded in her chest. Derek didn't meet her eyes, but the others exchanged glances. I could ask my uncle at the diner, the guitar girl chimed in. He might help. See? This is how it works, Jenna encouraged. We all bring something to the table, and we can make this happen together. For the first time, Lisa felt a soft rush of hope. But just as quickly, it was threatened again. What if it doesn't happen? What if no one shows up? Derek's tone had shifted from skeptical to genuinely concerned. He seemed vulnerable, and Lisa realized he might be wrestling with more than just the project itself. Then we try again, Lisa replied, her voice steady. We're all figuring this out together. It's about taking those first steps, even if they feel scary. Derek uncrossed his arms, his walls beginning to crumble. Yeah, but what if it's a total flop? Lisa took a deep breath, feeling more ready to engage in this conversation than she had moments ago. Then we learn. Nothing is perfect on the first try. But I promise you, if this place becomes a safe space, a place where everyone can express themselves, it'll be worth it. The crowd remained silent, contemplating her words. Finally, Derek nodded, looking at the ground. Okay, but don't expect me to be the one who leads it all. I'm not some community hero or something. Just be yourself, Derek, Jenna said with a gentle smile. That's all anyone could ask of you. As conversation sparked anew, Lisa felt a fresh energy radiating from the group. Everyone was leaning in, eager to share ideas, and for the first time, she was filled with a sense of belonging. The stakes were still high, their future uncertain, but something special was unfolding before their eyes. Just then, a sudden noise broke the commotion. A loud laughter erupted from behind them, and a group of younger kids came barreling into the space, oblivious to the serious discussion happening just seconds before. Their carefree joy was contagious, and Lisa couldn't help but smile, but as her gaze returned to the group of older kids, she noticed Derek looking conflicted, tossing a glance between the younger kids and his friends. This could be the turning point, Lisa thought. With that, she knew that the next challenge lay ahead. Would Derek muster the courage to join in and help lead through the chaos? Or would he retreat back into the shadows, weighed down by fear once again? The collective anticipation surged, as if every heart beat in rhythm with a question that remained unspoken. What would happen next? The next moments felt like a movie unfolding, each scene building suspense as laughter and chatter mixed with uncertainty. Lisa watched as Derek's gaze flickered back to the younger kids, and a spark ignited. He dropped his shoulders, the tension draining away as a sincere smile broke through. Hey! You guys want to join us? He called out, his voice rising above the chatter. The younger kids perked up, their eyes wide with curiosity as they ran over, brimming with energy. It was a beautiful sight. Derek's cool! Shouted one of the younger boys, admiration lighting up his face. Are we cooking stuff? Lisa couldn't help but smile wider. As the excitement grew, she shot a glance at Michael and Jenna, whose expressions mirrored her own disbelief and joy. What was happening? Derek, who moments ago had felt like a wall, was transforming into a bridge between the generations. Yeah, we are. Derek replied, his enthusiasm palpable. And you kids are gonna help us figure out what's gonna be in it. Can we do pizza and cookies? One girl piped up, and soon another chimed in with a suggestion for cupcakes. We could have a dessert day. She exclaimed, the ideas swirling faster now. Laughter bounced off the walls, creating a heartbeat of anticipation. Absolutely. But we'll need everyone's help to make it happen, Lisa encouraged, feeling the warmth of sudden community wrap around her. This was not just a conversation, this was a catalyst. Jenna leaned in closer, her enthusiasm bubbling over. Okay, let's plan a tasting day to brainstorm all your ideas. We could even ask everyone to bring their favorite recipes. The group fell into a planning rhythm, energy buzzing in the air as Lisa felt something shift not just among the kids, but within herself. Everything felt possible. Derek, now animated and engaged, went from skeptical observer to enthusiastic participant. As ideas flew, Lisa's heart swelled. She was watching the formation of a community. For the first time, those barriers started crumbling. But amidst the excitement, she felt the dark edges of doubt creeping back. "We can't forget that we need support," she reminded them gently. "We'll need to reach out to businesses and local leaders to get supplies." "Yeah," Derek nodded, his voice brimming with newfound determination. "I'll talk to my uncle at the diner too. You've got all of us." One of the younger kids chimed in, clapping their hands together, and laughter echoed through the playground once more. "Incredible. You're all part of this." Lisa grinned, her voice teeming with belief. This was just the beginning, and she could feel hope solidifying into something real. As the sun dipped lower, casting brilliant hues through the gathering, Lisa turned her gaze toward Michael. Under the golden light, he caught her eye and smiled, understanding the shared joy they experienced. "We are doing this," she whispered, feeling the weight of all the whispers and doubts dissipating into thin air. Together, they were becoming more than just an idea, they were crafting a future-as plan solidified around laughter and enthusiasm. A new realization dawned on her. What was once enveloped in fear and uncertainty was transforming into an empowering tapestry woven with hope. "Okay, everyone," Lisa stepped forward, commanding the group's attention. "Tomorrow, I want each one of you to bring one idea to the table for the center. Something you want to see in our community." Just as the excitement reached its peak, a familiar voice rang out. The mayor and a couple of his supporters approached, their gazes sharp and appraising as they interrupted the atmosphere. "What is going on here?" the mayor asked, his tone skeptical, like it was the same old story replaying. Lisa steadied herself, heart pounding as she faced the looming confrontation. "We're planning a community center," she stated confidently, her voice steady. "A place for everyone, and we're starting with ideas from the youth." "Kids don't know what they want," the mayor scoffed, crossing his arms. A collective gasp arose from the crowd as Derek and the others stood their ground beside Lisa. "No, we don't know what we want," Derek shouted, surprising even himself. "We need something where we can come together and hang out. We've got tons of ideas." A murmur rippled through the group, gathering strength, and Lisa felt the wave of determination sweep through the crowd. "Yeah. And if you'd listen to us, you'd see it could bring everyone closer," one girl added, stepping forward. The mayor hesitated, caught off guard by the united front. Lisa felt her heart race. This was a pivotal moment, a key to opening minds. "We want change, we want to matter," she added, her voice ringing clear. "This is our community. Let us work together instead of against one another." As their collective voices rang like an anthem, the mayor shifted uncomfortably, the weight of their resolve settling around him. The atmosphere buzzed with possibility. Finally, as the sun dipped lower, coloring the sky in brilliant shades of orange and pink, the mayor cleared his throat. "We'll see, perhaps I can find a way to listen," he said finally, though Lisa sensed his reluctant acceptance. A crack in his facade, cheers erupted, laughter flooded in as the group high-fived and celebrated their small victory. Lisa felt alive, the energy electric as hope pulsed in her heart. What had begun as fear had shifted, blossoming into this moment of connection. Chaos transformed into collaboration. Together, they were embarking on a journey, reshaping their community. As the group dispersed, Lisa caught Michael's eye once more. Their shared smile reflected everything they'd worked for and everything still ahead. They could face whatever challenges awaited them. And for the first time, she believed that they really could change the world around them. The weight of fear had been replaced by friendship, laughter, and resilience. They stepped back into the night, brighter days ahead. After all, real change doesn't just begin with dreams, it starts with a single step. Now, it's your turn. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.